Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another lovely night on Dungeon Masters of Entrath, the one and only game show for everyone's favorite trading card game, Hex Shards of Fate. As always, I am your host, Thrawn, and for the next 3 hours, we are going to be having wacky, wonderful shenanigan times. What is up, JJ? How are you doing? If anybody is a first-timer here, how our show works is I have designed a series of decks for you to compete against and put them in a specific order to create a dungeon-like experience. If you win all the way through, you complete the dungeon and you win the grand prize. If you lose anywhere along the way, your dungeon run is over and the prize pool grows for the next contestant. So here is the map of the current dungeon. 2 out of the final 4 bosses have been defeated already. Peace Tinker and Ducklet knocking out the 2 bosses on the left. So the 3rd and 4th bosses in this dungeon are still alive. This is the first dungeon that has 2 points of entry to it. You can start in either starting room number 1, which is on the bottom left corner of our map here, or starting room number 2, which is on the bottom right. From there, you're on a linear path to either room 2 or 3, depending on where you start. You'll note there are 2 bonus rooms here, bonus room number 1 and bonus room number 3. Those are optional encounters that you may choose to partake in. The difficulty on those is ramped up. However, if you are successful in defeating one of those, you get guaranteed loot that is yours whether you go on to defeat a final boss or not. Bonus room number 1 is worth an Evo code. Bonus room number 3 is worth a draft out of the current set. So those are your extra grand prizes that are yours if you can take down the ultra hard challenges. I do have the rules set up for the next dungeon, though I do not have the decks built. We're going to try something really wacky and stupid for the next dungeon, and that's what I'm calling Jank Locket, which is 150 card minimum decks. You may use up to 4 copies of Jankbot. You may use up to 4 copies of Locket of Reflection, and you may use any rare resource. But otherwise, it'll be commons and uncommon only. And any card in your deck that's not a Shard, Jankbot, or Locket of Reflection has to be a 2 of, so that it would proc off of a Locket of Reflection. So it's going to be really random, kind of crazy shenanigans, so I need to build some decks for that. I might try to rope in Peace Tinker to see if he's around to help me build some Jank Locket decks. But I thought that'd be a really wacky and crazy format in keeping with our kitchen table style. And sorry, I gotta check my music because for some reason it's stopped playing. Okay, there we go. Gets a little weird when it's just me talking. So that's kind of the spiel for what's coming up. But tonight we are doing the same usual dungeon here until this is cleared, commons and uncommons only. If anybody wishes to step up into the challenge, all you have to do is simply speak up in chat here. Let me know that you have a deck that abides the common and uncommon only rules and you wish to play. And I will traditionally take challengers in the order they come in. If we get very busy, on some busier nights I do raffles from the bot to kind of keep track of the madness and you know, let people in that way. But normally with my viewer numbers it is not a problem. So Jedi speaking up as the first challenger of the night. So we shall do this, and starting room 1 or 2. That is something I need to know on my end so I know what we're playing. Room 2, alright. Challenge when ready. What's up, Stigma? I cannot type. Alright, so I'll have JJ send me a challenge when ready. Stigma, you are number 2. You're up after JJ. No, you're not. Just kidding. Eternal Doom is next because I missed that line. So Eternal Doom and then Stigma. I'm writing down tonight's order. We've got JJ, Eternal Doom, Stigma, Buster. Alright, excellent. We got 3 challengers. That is enough to get us started. And 6, starting room number 2. JJ riding high off that Hex Clash victory over the weekend. Now steps into the dungeon. I'll keep it because it has 2 Mystic Naturalists in it and a little bit of stall tech to help us get there. Correct, Eternal Doom. The games are best of 1. You don't need reserves. You are allowed to change decks between encounters in the dungeon if you so choose, as long as every deck you use obeys the rules. So some people will will see encounters that they know are a specific, very hard challenge for their particular deck, and so they may build a second deck kind of as a hate counter to a rough encounter and roll with that instead. Because I do not design dungeons to try to be beatable by one deck. People have repeatedly shown that pretty much every dungeon I've built is essentially completable by one deck, but I don't build with that in mind, because then I can make really hard, like, specific niche encounters, or maybe hate on a specific deck and not feel bad about it, because if my deck hates out what you're trying to build, play something else. just flip decks for that encounter and then go back to what you were doing before. So JJ is rolling some Dwarf aggro, which is extremely well positioned against Daughter of Stars, because Daughter of Stars endgame is to try to pay 10 charges, throw everything back up in the hand, crash in for victory. And JJ's deck goes, yeah, that's cute, because all of these things can be replayed very, very quickly and very, very cheaply. And I'm just going to bounce that back into the hand. I don't know if that actually stops the transformation or not. Alright, so we're to have easily Mystic Naturalist on 4. But we're a little behind the 8-ball here. Now, when the Electroid swings in, I'm going to time ripple that to save us 3 points of health. I need to remember to change sleeves on some of these decks. This was the Sunsoul Phoenix Collector's sleeve is set to default, but isn't really thematic to what the deck's trying to do. So many artifacts. Okay, so I think that did stay as a worker bot. Alright, so now we can time ripple that out of there, and since JJ spent all his resources, we do not have to worry about that coming back this turn. So we'll eat 2 damage. The sad thing about Crank Rocket is we're probably sending out a Mystic Naturalist to die here if JJ exhausts into Crank Rocket. Yeah, because there's 3. Probably, you know, just can exhaust Worker Bot plus 1 other. Oh no, that's all that needed? I thought that needed more exhausts than that. This is not a fight. This is not a matchup that Daughter of Stars knows how to win. deck is fast, you will tear her up. So that's pretty much it. Because can throw down a Mystic Naturalist here. Still going to get overwhelmed by 4 right there, even if we make the optimal block on Electroid. So JJ is going to get this one and move on to the second encounter of the dungeon. Doesn't even need to swing. Gets the pings there. Alright, so that's going to do it for Daughter of Stars. And like I said, it's linear at this point. JJ chose starting room number 2. So he will be moving on to room numero 3. Let me see here. Send Immortal. I'm guessing he's not changing his... Okay, incoming challenge. Yeah, he's not changing his deck. So where is... Hex Entertainment, please give me deck folders. Room 3, accept. Alright, let's take the map down. So it's going to be linear again because the bonus room has been defeated here. A win will get JJ to room 4. And so now we have Swamp Butt versus Old School Artifact Aggro. This hand's a little suboptimal. I'm going to keep it. Probably Fate Weave for a shard to try to find a Sapphire. But I guess see what we draw first. Thunderfield Elder, the next action in your deck gets when you play this, copy it. So that'll act as a nice buff for the Embertongue Skarn. Also allows us to remove a couple threats or hit in the face. Okay, that's not a Sapphire Shard. So now I really need to seek Fortune. Yep, dungeons will cheat the rules and use some rare and legendary cards to fill in the role of AI only cards and produce a little bit of a challenge. Gives it a little bit more flavor, and I found a lot of people like that. Every time I found a deck to be rather challenging and give people headaches, and I've said, well, you guys know I could nerf this if you really want. The reaction has always been from people, don't you dare nerf the dungeons, we want to kick that deck's ass. Alright, so Embertongue Skarn is out. We now have a blocker. Thankfully, we did get at least one of the Sapphire thresholds we need. Yeah, don't nerf it ever. I have yet to build a deck that was so over-the-top BS that people actually felt, okay, Theron, you screwed this one up, you need to dial it down a notch. Probably need to Crackling Bolt the Warbot here. Even though I'd like to take out Hornet Bot. Hornet Bot is killable by Swamp Gas. So let's put some Swamp Gas in the deck. Yeah, I'm going to Crackling Bolt that. Although the Avatar of Ruby was close, many a fist bruises were caused by that deck, yes. The Avatar of Ruby definitely dished out the hurt. Red deck wins. I mean, in that deck, I get to play Matriarch of Flames, and you don't. Dungeon Master gets his sadistic kicks every once in a while from that matchup. Alright, so the good news thus far is, even though there's a lot of weenies here, it's just weenies. Okay, that one's more painful. That one's more painful. Never mind. That one's more painful. Old school artifact aggro doing what it wants to do. And I don't know that Swamp Bud has a lot of answers for flyers of that size. Stifling Sting would have been great if I'd hit it with Thunderfield Elder. I'm going to throw it on Thunderfield Elder so that the next action will get copied. And then have to hold here. But this is looking like 8 in the air next turn. Easily. Plus something's going to get crank rocketed. And that is going to be problematic. I'd take down the Seeking Challengers notice since we do have 3 people in the queue. Although others are always welcome to speak up and say that they want to join in. But at least we have enough depth to last for a little while here. So here's 8 in the air. Yep, 8, 9, that's 11. If we hit that, take that, it's lethal next turn. That's probably lethal next turn anyway, actually. Woof, another crank rocket. Alright, so Wolvear will be a blocker. We'll add some Swamp Gases that we'll never see to our deck. Sit on the Stifling Sting because it's a quick action. But, Pentelia Monfilia, I'm sorry if I probably completely slaughtered that, has pledged allegiance to the Empire. Thank you so much for the follow. And I really need to get Nightbot. I remember to get Nightbot off the channel one of these days so that notifications don't double up. All hail the Empire. That reminds me, I also wanted to announce I have crossed the 150 follower mark, and I had pledged that when I did that, I was going to stream the movie Cowboys vs. Dinosaurs, and basically give it the Riff Tracks Mystery Science Theater 3000 treatment, where we're making fun of the movie, watching it together, having a good time, and I'm going to try to turn a movie about cowboys and dinosaurs into something Hex related as best I can. We are going to do that this Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time, which is noon if you're on the West Coast, 3 p.m. if you're on the United States East Coast, be about 8, 9 p.m. Europe time, so that most of my potential viewing audience is not watching at an ungodly hour. It's going to be about a 90-minute to 2-hour stream, because that's how long the movie runs. So we'll just have some shenanigans. It'll be a real fun, stupid hangout. Dungeon Masters of Entrath, potentially PC exclusive. What is up, Hacky? I would love to attempt to stream it from my PlayStation 4 one of these days, but I think that might be tough, just because of all the programs I use. Alright, so JJ has moved on to room 4. Gonna throw up a real quick flash of the dungeon map here so y'all have a sense of the progression, if I can find it. So JJ is at room 4 and would move on to room 6 basically, and then after that has a choice of bosses. Oh, actually no, he has a choice of the bonus room after this. It probably would want to go for the bonus room. Alright, so we won the flip. We're gonna go first. And this is good. We're gonna keep this. Alright, start with a Sapphire Shard and play JJ's favorite card, Arcane Focus. Grab that Exalted Professor and pass it over. So Exalted Professor is gemmed with Flight here, and Diligence, create a random action to meet the threshold requirements to play and put it into your hand. So that's going to give him some constant reach to help continue making actions for us here. Our champion is Runecarver Darkon for 5 charges. Target action in your hand with cost 2 or less gets runic this turn, which we really want to use on Trial of Totems, and basically get double value out of it. Alright, so JJ's turn is done. We're going to throw down a second resource so we can get Zubrin down on time and pass the turn. If I can get Twitch set up on my PlayStation 4, I might stream Hex from the PlayStation 4 on the release day just to test things out. Alright, so let's swing with our Exalted Professor. Got to start making dim actions. Throw down a Prestidigitator to make another action. And we got a Moon Call Ceremony. Conscript a Ardent Troop with cost 3, and it becomes a 2-drop. Not gonna lie, I was hoping for AZ3 today, but this is welcome news as well. Would be nice to see some updates on the PvE front, but I'm a fan of anything that's going to expand Hex's player base, and I am largely a console first gamer. I'm going to take both of those. Hex is actually almost exclusively the only game I will play on PC. I play a little bit of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds from time to time. I will sometimes play like Path of Exile or a little bit of StarCraft, but I would say 95% of my gaming hours are on Xbox. No, 90% are on Xbox, 5% are on PS4, and the remaining 5% are on PC if you don't include Hex. So let's, I think I'm swinging in with the Exalted Professor, but leaving Prestidigitator. It's a very complicated word back. Why am I doing that? He's got a Terrobot right there. Yeah, that was a mistake. Derp. That was Dungeon Master being a dum-dum. So, do we Buccaneer, Mooncall Ceremony? Claw of the Mountain God. At the start of your turn, this deals 2 damage to you. Fantastic. Huh. Do I even want to play that? I guess I have to play that and then maybe hope for some chump blocks. That it forces something. Okay, taking 5. Losing 2 more here. I don't have the thresholds for... Oh, man. So this has not panned out well at all. Swinging with the 5-4 that is killing us to exist. probably get... No, it doesn't even bother to block it. I think I want the shard here. Yeah, it's not worth bouncing Terrabot, because Terrabot's still essentially free. Yeah, it will be, let me see, 1, 2, 3, well, 1, 2, 3, yeah, it's basically a month from now, 4 Tuesdays. So I had to get in that last point of damage, but we're basically dead here. And now I'm going to make an educated guess that JJ wants to try the bonus room that awards a free draft. An crushing everything swing should do the trick here. One, 2, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, JJ has defeated the first 3 decks of the dungeon. Let's try for the bonus room as expected, and that is bonus room numero 3. All right. Yeah, it'll be nice to have a rumble pit of pre-built decks that people can get some ideas, have a little bit of inspiration on you know, different archetypes that they could build from as they grow their collection. Bonus 3. Alright, also provides a starting point. I like this deck. Let's make this my starter deck. My best friend, who goes by Spegmasm in game and is the only person I know who I've been able to get into Hex, studied the first deck I had in my last dungeon, which was a Tharaz Dreadling deck. And even though I could have sent him all the cards to build that deck, he went and kind of farmed up some gold and played the market a little bit to buy it. I'm going to keep this and Diamond Ice for a resource. Hope to find a blood here. So the bonus room is Goot. And in hand we have a Twilight Eclipse. We also have Journey into Nightmare. So if we hit that, we can start stealing cards off the top of Jadim Jedi's deck. Alright, so another Diamond Ice was really not what the doctor ordered. But I'm going to play a non-slow shard here to get Righteous Paladin down on schedule. Can dual stream PS4 Hex and PC Hex at the same time. Well, maybe. I have a feeling that they're not going to allow simultaneous log-on from your same account. Unless you do like a Kickstarter account and a non-Kickstarter account. Because I believe you would be in the population that could do such a thing. Alright, Seeking Fortune again to find a mythical blood shard. We're going to swing in with the Righteous Paladin here because we're not afraid to crack back of that immediately. Sometimes I play PlayStation 4 while I have Hex on PC. It's time to reverse that occasionally, right? I will play things on Xbox while I'm like watching streams on PC, so if I could actually play Hex on my PlayStation 4, because what you see over my shoulder here is a 65-inch Sony 4K TV And that's what my Xbox and PlayStation 4 are hooked into. If I could, I can actually play and have played Hex off of that TV before, because I could run an HDMI cable from my PC into that, and then my treadmill is back here over my left shoulder, and that's why I do Hexercise streams. So I can actually already use that TV for Hex, but the resolution and the settings for that are kind of a pain in the butt. There is the blood shard we so desperately wanted. So it's much nicer just to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to do it right off the old PlayStation. And not have to worry about resolution settings. So we're going to hold here for a minute, because we have some removal options. Righteous Paladin is going to grow by a nice chunk here next turn. Actually, it might not, because Crank Rocket. Don't have one, but if you get it, you'll put it behind your right shoulder. It's a good place for it. Would recommend. Alright, so JJ's got lots of things to exhaust into. Solitary Exile, void another target card. So we could void Crank Rocket, actually. Decree of Banishing is also nice because it's a constant. Constants feed into the Decree of Banishing. So we're going to take that 3 and not give up the Righteous Paladin. Righteous Paladin is now a 5/5. And that is a constant right now. I think I swing with it. And then how many tickets for Crank Rocket? I think I'm going to Solitary Exile the Crank Rocket to try to protect the Righteous Paladin here. And I'm holding Decree of Banishing for a completed Warhulk. And Twilight Eclipse represents 1, 2, 3, 4 damage right now. And 4 health for us. Yeah, you never know with the console market how that's going to fare. Alright, so we hit Dayrider. Constants you control have Invincible, and when a constant enters play under your control, summon a Vesper. So that'd be 3, 4, 5. Crackback is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that doesn't get into the range of us worrying for our life. Really hoping they haven't signed another deal they're going to regret, like, yeah, hopefully not. I mean, if Sony is putting in for marketing, Sony almost certainly has to be getting some kind of revenue share or something out of the deal. Yeah, well, they don't want to burn a bridge and publicly say something like, yeah, GameForge sucks, we hate them, we wish we never inked that deal. I mean, they're never gonna say that. Even I don't know if they feel that way or not. I'm not trying to infer any feelings on their part, but you know, if they felt that way, they never say it. Only our third-party analysis without all proper data comes to the conclusion that, yeah, Hex regrets. I'm in the Steam client right now, and this doesn't show up on stream, but I crossed 1,000 hours on the Steam client today. I have 1,001 hours of Hex time logged in Steam. And I've got I had about 750 hours in the standalone client before that. That's 8, that's 10. Yeah, we'll take 10, that's fine. Volcannon. Exhaust dwarf or robot you control. This deals 3 damage. Okay. That can't kill us, can it? Have it, don't need it. A one-off Urna is in here. Glad I don't have a number to look at, but I've been level 100 for some time now. Alright, let's get that guy out of here. This is not going to get through, so I'm just going to hold it as a blocker. And hope that this might still be bad. Oh, I think JJ still has this. Crap. That Volcannon. Yep. Exhausted again for 3. And Terabot in the air. Look at that. If I should have gotten down a constant one turn sooner, would have had it. JJ has a draft package and has defeated a room that had 3 Twilight Archons that didn't want to show up. That was extremely close. I sat on a constant for a turn waiting for you to make that 5/5 crush troop, and if I'd just gone for it, I would have had a point of damage sooner. But I didn't know that you were about to bust out the Volcannon. Alright, so I have you written down as a draft. I need to remember what the next number is. Okay, you'd be going for room 6, and then from there one of the 2 bosses. There's more control concerns for porting with touch controls than a PS4 controller. Yeah, because you have buttons and more buttons and options and stuff that way. Alright, so when your hand is 2 Wells of Cunning, you might as well have no resources in your hand. That is a 0 resource hand. I'm going to seek adventure here because we've got some resources. Yep, all the auction house overhauling went into the PlayStation 4 version, which, you know, that stuff will come for PC eventually, hopefully not too long after the PS4 launch. But I'm sure right now that we know that's coming, I'm sure a lot of their attention is focused on making sure that that rolls out successfully. Go for adventure again here. Chronic Madness is not a quick action. So I'm going to wait on the Chronic Madness until Tribunal Magistrate has put some stuff in that deck that we want to fish out. Oh, this is going to hurt though. I'm going to have to eat 3, 4, 5, 6. Unless JJ just wants to go full ham for the construction plans, but I bet he swings at least strong 2, so that's 5. Alright, and let's get Tribunal Magistrate on board. Okay, that past priority button was a little weird. It had like continue to resolving that. Someone randomly yelling outside. Alright, JJ exhausting 3 troops, grab some more cards. I thought ahead this week. I started the stream with 2 full glasses of water at my desk because all this talking is thirsty work. Yeah, put them eggs in there. Alright, so now this time I will be seeking some fortune. And I'm going to put down a blocker with a little more teeth. Yeah, that's never the tablet's fault, it's the software. You mean I can't play this on my iPhone 2? Alright, so JJ taking a little more conservative line, only swinging in with the Hornet bot. You just go right ahead and keep playing some cards. Alright, now Cumulus Oculus, when you play an action, bury the top 3 cards of each opposing champion's deck. So we're going to play down the Cumulus Oculus first so that we have a blocker for Hornet Bot. And now we're going to play Chronic Madness to fish 7 off of that deck. Did not hit any spiders. People keep showing you these random mobile/tablet card games. I'm just amazed at how crowded the card game marketplace feels like it's become in the years since Hex's Kickstarter. Like, Hearthstone is super popular, now everybody and their mom is trying to make a CCG. CD Projekt Red is in on it with Gwent. Microsoft is getting in on it with Fable Fortune, which looks like a glorified Hearthstone clone to me. Bethesda's in on it with their Elder Scrolls game. I'm sure there's dozens more besides those. Valve making a card game instead of Half-Life 3. Half-Life 3 is never coming. And we all know if it actually did come, it'd be a mere shadow of the expectations we all have for it. Let's block here, block here, double block here.
It's caught in a bear trap.
Duke Nukem forever happened. Yes, but it wasn't good. I've played it. It was not what I think anybody would be like. Yeah, sign me up, please. And I know you have the Kappas there. So really can't swing into this. That aggro package here. These are like all set 1 and 2 cards. This is old school deck tech here. And it is wrecking all the cute little things we're trying to do. Five, eight, I mean, alright, stop max damage.
His head topples to the floor.
Is still to take.
You fall to your
Those are the
knees and
optimal
catch
blocks,
your breath.
but we're now...
You're finally safe.
So we're not dead, but we're dead. Unless there's some fantastic one-card MILF for 46 combo. Ooh, Bastard Spawn of Bakrug. Too little, too late. But we'll play it to show we had it. Bastard Spawn of Bakrug. When it deals damage to an opposing champion, bury the top half of their deck rounded up. Alright, so JJ, first challenger of the night, is taking out a bonus room and is going all the way to a final boss. So we need to know boss number 3 or boss number 4. CPS4 Hex, similar to Steam launch, not necessarily being a new feature for veteran Hex players, but being another way for potential players to find out about it, yep, and get in. Let's do boss number 4. Alright, shoot me a challenge when you're ready, JJ. JJ versus the Illuminators. Double threshold that we don't have. Oh god, and that's a 0 resource hand. Alright. So, this is rough. So, Trail of Totems can get us a troop that has +2/+2 and deals double damage when we find a ruby threshold. The Templar of Lumos. When this deals damage to an opposing champion, Illuminate 1 is gemmed with when this attacks, it gets flight this turn. To try to help it get over. Okay, so Ruby Ice is a good hit. I'm gonna go ahead and seek some adventure here now because we're good on resources up to 4. I'd like to get a little more meat in hand because these are currently the only 2 options. Gonna have to take any early hits that JJ is able to dish out. No swings. So we have Totem Trap and Trial of Totems here. So we'll sit back. Totem Trap is a little weak in this matchup. Deal 3 damage to target attacking or blocking troop. And the good stuff has more than 3 attack, or more than 3 defense. Or it's just a little 1/1 drop that does nothing. Well, I guess it'll take out a... can take out a worker bot. Because this would be 3, 4, 5 damage swinging in, but these 2 probably feed that. Swinging for 3 is probably the line I would expect here. JJ might have needed to step away from his computer for a second. Alright, here we go. So I expect just this one. And that went as expected. We're going to totem trap that to get that off the board. Alright, another plan comes out. End of turn, gonna Trial of Totems. We get a 5/4. Ooh, a 5/4 speed deals double damage. Probably want to just go ahead and swing with that. Are going to have to face a 5/5 counter swing. He's just going to take it. Throw down a Candlekin, pass the turn back. JJ voluntarily taking 10. Alright, so the Warhulk is going to swing in for sure. 5/5 crush with only a Candlekin to stand in its way. May not swing in with these other three, instead preferring to exhaust those to try to get the other one completed. No, exhausts them for Consult the Talon to draw 3 cards and thereby have more ammo out here. Does not swing with Warhulk. Okay, so to swing with this here, it could get blocked by the Warhulk and killed that way. Or double blocked by the Terrobot. Probably not Terrobot and Warhulk. I think I allow that trade if Warhulk blocks. Yeah, Warhulk will block. We get closer to another one. I think I'm going to go Templar of Lumos first. Alright, so we have to take 1 damage for that artifact coming into play. Now this deck just goes so wide so fast. Alright, now Warbot is made. Swinging in with the Terrobot. Now we can fly in for 4 here with the Valor when this deals combat damage to your champion. Yeah, so gonna fly in for 4. Hitting is gonna create an illumination. Oh, whoops! JJ forgot that can fly in. Summon another Candlekin, and I think I want to try to leverage a second flyer here. So we have some Candlekin chump blockers. We have 2 flying troops to 1 blocking Terrobot. So the question is, can we deal 5 faster than JJ can deal 18? Gonna take that. He's got Volcanon. Ooh, yeah, so that's tough. Flame Leg, deal 3 damage to target opposing champion or troop, illuminate 1. Oh, that's game. I think. Champion or troop. So one of these gets through for 3. Flamelick finishes it off. Unless he's able to exhaust us down first. Oh god, does he have enough to do it? How many does he need? Exhaust 2 to ready it. Okay. Wow, it does not get any closer than that. He was 1 activation away from doing it. But we have Flamelick for face. Wow, that was close! Oh, that was so close! JJ making it all the way to the final boss. Womp womp. Yeah, forgetting that the guys could fly was the mistake that did it there. So we'll add that to our fail counter. That is number 8, so we'll add 2,000 gold to the prize pool, which stands at 16,000. Alright, and so next on our challenger list is Eternal Doom. Eternal Doom, if you're still here, remind me your in-game name. And then let me know, I need your in-game name, I need to know which of the 2 starting rooms you want to start in, and then send me a challenge when you're ready. So if you could just let me know those 3 things. Yeah, SM Rad, okay, I should, over time I will remember these. SM Rad, I know you've played before. And just let me know which room you want to start with, 1 or 2, and we'll roll. Room number 1, that is, yes. Room number 1 is near the sole remaining bonus room, and I don't have paint.net open to X out bonus room 1, but that room is gone. So yes, you want to start in room 1 if you want to try to take the last bonus room. Alright, so I will assume room 1, and just send me the challenge when you're ready. Okay, yep, I got you for 1. Wait, I should, I need to send you, probably, SM, here, S/Whisper, I forgot how this works, SM Rad, challenge when ready, alright. That works too, whichever way works, so that you know to, how to ship me a challenge. I want to thank everybody tuning in here. You are watching Dungeon Masters of Entrath, the one and only Hex game show that I run every Wednesday night on my Twitch channel, where I design decks to make a special fun dungeon, and then people play against me for personal glory, fun, prizes. It's a very laid-back, kitchen table-y Hex experience. You know, laid-back PvP with as much PvE flavor as I'm able to give it. I have been doing this for more than 6 months now. We started back on February 8th. And pretty much every Wednesday since, from 5 to 8 p.m. Pacific, which is 7 to 10 Central, I have been running the show. Been having a great time doing so. It's always a pleasure. This is... the vast majority of my streaming time is this. This is kind of my special thing. Because otherwise, if I'm not streaming right now, I've been trying to cut back on the amount of video games I play and trying to devote that time to some of my other personal passion projects like fiction writing. So I've been working on that. And so I've been doing that a lot more than working on, like, for example, playing the ladder or drafting or anything. So My account leveling has not progressed very far or very fast because right now about 80% of my total hex time is either playing Dungeon Masters of Entrath or building the decks for it, but I have a total blast. And Bimboldakin 696, good soundtrack in the background. Thank you. I like to have a lot of kind of video game inspired music, some pop culture remixes like Game of Thrones type stuff, a little bit of techno. So I think I threw down Cottontail Explorer here, as we're not going to miss what was at the bottom of the deck anyway. We do get a shard. And did not lose a copy of our win condition. Our deck is a singleton deck here. Everything in the deck is a one-of, with the exception of each opposing champion chooses and discards a card. Yeah, I'll let you hit me for one. That's fine. So everything is a one-of in this deck, with the exception of Polymorphic Army. Oh, we're gonna have to do it anyway. Alright, well, I'll lose that shard that I had just gained off Cottontail Explorer. And Giant Corpse Fly, making it its discard again. So rude. So rude. Alright. Sorry, Cloudbounder. That's only on deployment? Yes, that is only on deployment. So I'm going to swing in here, and if you want to block, that is A-OK. And get the Arendelle Monk out. This guy's a vanilla 3-3 to start, but if he gets to exhaust, then he becomes a 5-5 and gets Spell Shield until the start of your next turn. So then, as long as you keep swinging in with him, he can continue to be a 5-5 Spell Shield. So he gets hit with the Darkened Knight, killed immediately while he's an eligible target for that. And now there's a Nightfall that's going to deal us a point of damage every single turn. Alright, so we found Polymorphic Army. We have our win condition. So now the name of the game is get as many troops out in play as possible, and then turn them all into big things. So I'm going to swing for one because we can't block the flyer anyway. Skittering Cultivator is also real good for this because at Diligence it summons 2 Dreadlings. Those are 2 other things that can magically be turned into something bigger and better than what they were. And I think I hate to, but I'm going to give up the Dreamsmoke Mystic here over the Cultivator. Oh no, come on! All the discard shenanigans. Alright, so we'll play that, get a card. Arcane Focus and get a card. What do we have in hand? Do we need another resource? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to actually take the resource. And when we play the draw cards, we found all of our draw card stuff in one turn. Funny how that works out. We now have blockers for the Corpse Flies. And now if forced to discard something, a shard is an okay loss. Alright, Merciless Color forces us to sacrifice something. So naturally he gets rid of the Eager Lackey to be able to draw a card to replace. get a Shackling Strands here. I'll play the Well of Instinct. I don't think thresholds matter here, but I'll take a triple. There. And I think I hold the Shackling Strands for now. The greed line here is to swing in with that and then try to get Dreadlings, but it may just get double blocked by the Corpse Flies. Right, necessary sacrifice. Sacrifice the troop to draw 3 cards. Wow, that's a good combo. You get 1 for killing the Shinhair anyway, so really he's drawing 4. So resource is not what the doctor ordered. I will go ahead here and Shackling Strands that. And I'm gonna hold out here. Would really like to use Polymorphic Army on more than 2 troops, but I can't find them or keep them alive. Alright, so Blowcap comes out. If Blowcap makes us discard Polymorphic Army, then I'm just going to play it. Can I not play it in response? Oh my god, I can't play it now? Oh, Alright, I got burned for my greed. I really wanted to play it in response. Now I must find another. Alright, Wild Ice, let's find some adventure. I'm sure this deck eventually does something, but for now it's just making sure that we can't play anything. Alright, he gave up Eager Lackey again. How many is that? Well, there's 3 of them. Wow. You get no cards, you get no troops. Deck. The troll, I kept asking for it, and I get it now that I have no troops to morph with it. Literally the worst card. The worst card that could be found right now is a Polymorphic Army with absolutely nothing to polymorph. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll do it. So SM Rad has the first dungeon room defeated. What's up, Calibero? How are you doing tonight? So SM Rad moves on to room number 2. I am not sure. I thought I would have been able to play that in response, but I wasn't. It didn't give me an opportunity to do so. It just said I had to pick one and discard. Maybe that was user error on my part, or that's something about how the priorities work now, but yeah, I didn't see a chance to play it. Alright, so SMRAD, when you're ready, we'll do room number 2. If you win, you can take a crack at the bonus room. Alright, so this time it's Phantoms. Keep this. So Ada's endgame here is a combination of Dance Macabre to bring back anything that dies as a phantom, and Grievous Phantom to turn every phantom into another Grievous Phantom was a 5/5 flyer. So that is the machine which we are trying to construct. I'm going to go ahead and just play this now. Veteran Raider. 3/2 for 2 with a one-shot summon a Scarlet Raider. That'll be our play. Go ahead and throw that down. So there is a 1 cost to using its ability. And does the Scarlet Raider have haste? It does, or speed. It does have speed. So sadly, we could just be swinging into double trade here. Okay, you're Darkspire. What happens when you die? Search your deck for a troop with Darkspire in its name, or deal 3 damage to opposing champion. Sure. Don't know why it says opponent is making a choice, because I think that's random. Choose one at random, yep. Alright, so the Eager Lackey gets sacrificed for 3 health and a card. And Darkspire Punisher comes down, which either forces a discard or finds another Darkspire. Alright, another resource was really not what the doctor ordered. We're sitting on 2 repels here and a blocker that could be killed and turned into a phantom. I'm just going to go the repel route for now, though. No! It made us discard the... It auto-forced us to discard a random card, because that's its ability. Discards a card at random, so we lost the dance. And drawing nothing but shards. Alright, so for one more next turn we can play the shard and pop the champion power to get 2 phantoms, and then from there we would have the resources needed to play Grievous Phantom. One more after that would have Grievous Phantom. The problem is getting too thin on cards means that when crap like this happens, so I want to get rid of the shard or the Grievous Phantom, which I'm 2 shards away from playing. I think in this matchup I have to get rid of the Grievous Phantom. Just because there's so much discard in that deck that we probably would have had to pitch it anyway. Alright, so now we have Phantoms. And Lorgoyle Curator can transform a card in an opposing deck into a Tome of Lore and put it into our deck. Tome of Lore costs nothing. You sacrifice it to draw a different card. Then if you have 5 or more tomes of lore in your crypt, you summon a random avatar or a random dragon. So it's kind of a slow burn play for more power, but in the meantime you have a nice lovely little 2/4 body. So I don't know that you can resurrect something, but we're gonna get that out of there. We're gonna get anything named Darkspire out of there. And to start putting some lore into the deck. And then I think I want to go. I'm okay going ahead and swinging with the Scarlet Raider here, because either of those trades I think I'm fine with, or we just deal 1 point of damage. So Eager Lackey gets sacrificed for 3 health and a card. And another Eager Lackey. That deck does like to find its Eager Lackeys. Alright, sacrifice to ruin our Lorgoyle Curator before we can even have any fun with it. I'm going to let that too happen. Alright, we got ourselves a dance. Oh, I should have played that. I should have swung with the Raider and then played that post-combat. And I might have had one more Phantom. But I'll swing with these 2, and next turn can swing with 3 more. Try to play the Phantom Swarm here. Yeah, okay, I'll trade 1. Boy, that really didn't help. It really didn't help. Probably give up the Raider to just block one of those this turn. Yeah, Death Cry, discard, reduce, reuse, recycle. Grievous Phantom? No, come on. So that's 6, that's 7 incoming. For 4 outgo. We can hit for 4. Crackback is 7. That's not how you win a race. Especially with access to more. I'm gonna hold here and feel bad. I'm actually gonna hold that shard too to try to bait out some discard. Because we're so far away from being able to summon more Phantoms anyway. There you go. Yep, make us discard our shard. Now, you know what's going to happen, right? I could trade here and take out that and take out that, and I will immediately draw a Grievous Phantom. And I'm so certain of that that I'm going to take 6. And I will actually block like a responsible adult next time. Okay, come on. Come on, that is not a Grievous Phantom. That is another shard. Alright, so now double blocks are kind of mandatory here to thin the herd. Actually, it might be, might be like that and let 3 through. Oh, Gets 2 cards, gets another Blightbark Thrall, gets another Darkspire. Yeah, this is looking pretty bad. This is looking quite bad. So this could potentially end the game here if that hits the deal 3 damage to somebody. It did. Alright, game over. And now, does SM Rad wish to go for the only remaining bonus room? Or go deeper into the dungeon and try to take out one of the bosses by going on to room 4? That is the current question. Just a sec, need to take a turn. Okay. Alright, so SM Red needs a second to change a couple cards. And then is going for bonus room number 1. So appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. Hope you've been having a good time, enjoying the show as always. I did mention earlier, but just to give everybody a heads up again in case you are recently tuning in, I do not have the decks built for the next dungeon yet because we still have 2 bosses to kill in this dungeon. But I do want to try to give people advance notice because the next dungeon is going to be a radically different format. We're going wild and crazy and stupid, and we're doing what I am calling Jank Locket. It'll be 150 card decks. You may use Jankbot, but are not required to do so. You may use Locket of Reflection, but are not required to do so. That's your bonus 1. You may use, because of the 150 card size deck, I am allowing the use of any rare Join Draft, Open Runebind, Profit. Very nice. Because of the 150 card deck size, I will be allowing all rare resources. But otherwise, anything that is not anything that is not a Jankbot, a Locket of Reflection, or a Shard has to be exactly 2 of in the deck, so that it could work with a Locket of Reflection, even if you're not using those in the deck. So it's going to be a real wacky and crazy. It's going to be a real wild and crazy format. Do not know exactly when that dungeon is going to start, obviously, because it's going to start. It will start after the week after this dungeon ends. And if people don't defeat the bosses, it could be a little while. But I wanted to make sure that because that's a specific format and that's going to require anybody participating to prepare something for it, I wanted to make sure everybody knew up front how that would work. Now you need to pick up lockets. Yep, you're not required to use the lockets, but you may use them, and you can expect the dungeon's going to be rocking some. Alright, so SM Rad is getting the sacrifice chain rolling here. And we are disincentivized from swinging into that because we would lose 2 cards. Common, everything that's not the Jankbot or a Locket of Reflection is commons and uncommons only and limited to 2 ofs. They have to be exactly 2 ofs. I think I give up the Wolvear Basher here and hope for a shard into Mama Yeti. And if you type !rules, no! I have to give up the Matriarch. Because of course I do. Yep, that's why the exactly 2 ofs, so that if you hit your Locket and then play something, Locket's popping off like crazy. Alright, let's yeah, fine. So not finding a 4th shard was less than ideal here. Down. What else you got for us? Darkspire Priestess. Right, this really needs to be a shard. Alright, it's not a shard, but it is a thing we can use. Could next turn swing and Crushing Blow to keep it alive. Alright, so we're gonna take the 2, because Crushing Blow only works on attacking troops. And this is the special Valentine's Day alternate art from, I don't know if it was this year or the year before. This is why we can't have nice things. Oh boy, wouldn't it be sweet if we had a 4th shard? Wouldn't it just be sweet if we had a 4th shard? That'd be just incredible. That would just be the best. And I think I gotta get rid of Crushing Blow here. Shard, baby. Pray for shard, get Bolt Spasm. I'm sensing a theme. So if I pray for a Bolt Spasm this time, will I get a Ruby Shard? Give that a try. The end SM Rad's turn, just Bolt Spasm. Bolt Spasm. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and block here. Preserve health. Hey, got it. It's a shard. Hooray, shard. Let's get this Mama Yeti train rolling. See if we live long enough to fully enjoy it. Alright, so we hit for 5, we're taking 5 back. And now what's coming down? 5 resources, 4 cards. Alright, Gruesome Deed takes out Mama Yeti. Sad day. Nothing to do for it but play another Mama Yeti. And swing for 5. And once again, we're going to end up taking 5 back. So this is getting dangerous here, but we could win if we're not forced to discard Mama Yeti. Oh, no! No! Come on! Come on! Alright, so... I think it's time to just go ahead and use Benvolio. That's not enough, is it? That would be 5, 6, 7. This would swing for 3 and create a thing of flames that we can't. We would have. It would hit for 1. It's not really any better, so go ahead and Mama Yeti. Oh, come on. Well, we're dead now. That's... wow. Dealt the 1, swing for 2. And SM Red is going to defeat the last bonus room and get an Evo pack. This dungeon is getting whipped on tonight. SM Rad has defeated the bonus room, and all of the bonus rooms are out of commission. Avatar of Ruby gets taken out. And so now we are moving on to room 4, and then 6, and then from there it would be choice of bosses. So as soon as you are ready, send me a challenge. Room 4 next. I'm going to take down the map again here. Room 4. Shall accept. And let's see how Runecarver Darkon holds up. This is keepable. 2 Exalted Professors in hand, a Runic Strike. This looks pretty good. Third Exalted Professor. Alright, I'm going to seek some fortune to help make sure that we're getting the resources we need to play all the actions that hopefully we are going to be getting to keep. Come on, Thought Collector. Really? You steal my cards? Alright, go, Exalted Professor. And Giant Corpse Fly will make us discard something. Give up the Mystic Naturalist and not feel good about it. Alright, once again, I'm going to put a resource on top. Swing in here if it's blocked, Runic Strike. And getting trying to get resources, not resources, random actions off the Exalted Professors would help alleviate a little bit of the discarding that deck likes to make us do. Can't stop the sacrifice though, and yep. So they took a resource. No harm done there. So let's get out the Zubrans. And are one resource away from being able to, if we find a good resource, making it runic. Alright, so Essamrad is going to Fate Weave here. And then throw down a bloat cap and probably sacrifice it. Yep, so we had to lose a card. Now, Buccaneer, you can put target troop in his controller's hand. It gets cost -1. That is not something you want to use on a Merciless Color. So I do believe I'm going to swing in with both of these Shackling Strands. The Merciless Color here. Because that way the Merciless Color cannot swing in. And then we don't have to worry about the health repercussions of swinging in right now. And hopefully, if these get to trigger Diligence, we'll have some new cards to play with. But we're not going to have a Buccaneer. Hey, they Diligence. Okay, Arcane Focus. For a Trial of Totems. Which I... Greedy Thrawn wants to wait for another resource, but could be forced to discard that card. Swing in with both. Would lose one to Giant Corpse Fly. Clash of Steel was a good hit for potential later states. I think I'm going to hold on Zubrans. Till at least I probably should have just done it. Giving one of them Runic Strike doesn't change the fact that the other's gonna die. Alright, so he's still Fate Weaving. He's got a... the diamond was probably from our... that would have been peeled off our deck. Alright, so did get a resource for Runic Strike. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swing in with the Zubran twins. And now target action in your hand with cost 2 or less gets Runic this turn. We're going to put that on Trial of Totems. And then throw that down now. We hit a Night Sky Stargazer. Next troop in your deck gets +2/+2, and this will create a random action with well, we have threshold requirements to meet. Perte Suite. Want to sit with 3 cards up so that if we're forced to discard things, we can hold on to that as long as possible. Reversion goes first. Okay, so the merciless color that could not attack because of shackling strands was sacrificed in the name of 3 cards. And we're going to take 3 damage here. Now do we get to keep our toys? Alright, so Zubrin gets taken out. More's the pity. Alright, so the other card we got is a 5/6 Spell Shield. When 3 or more opposing troops attack, draw a card. I think I want to throw that down first as an aggression check. We get magnetized. Target opposing troop gets -2 attack for each artifact in our crypt. So basically, that portion of the ability was a complete swing and a whiff. So gaining lots and lots of health, drawing lots and lots of cards. No! That gets around Spell Shield. Gah! That deck doesn't win fast. That's for sure, but it does... It has been finding the way to grind through. So we'll play the Night Sky Stargazer, make something bigger. Now we got a Stone Skin Interrupt, target actioning, targeting you or a troop you control. That's reasonable. Sacrifices to steal a card off our deck. Gain more health. I want that deck to go a little bit wider so that Clash of Steel would have some value here. So we can pick our one thing, and then they have to pick, you know, one of however many. But that's not much of a choice to have to make right now. There you go. Keep going. Keep going. Nope, I guess that's all we're gonna get. Artifaction! What's up? Good to see you as always. Alright, so we're gonna keep the only thing we control. They're keeping their Nightfall to keep us on a turn clock. And so now we have 7 turns basically to win. Ugh, they stole a Windborn Ascension. Six turns to win. Devoted Infuser. At the start of each opposing champion's turn, ready this is what they got. Let's at least make you not fly. And then Buccaneer can bounce it into the hand and it's not going to be able to get replayed again because of Threshold. So, goodbye. And And Arcane Focus. Alright, let's get that Trail of Totems going. Swing for 5. Pass it over. Alright, I would actually rather you get the card than... No! No! 2 turns to win. Reversion OP. Oh, we could lose that on a coin flip. Could be dead on a coin flip. We're not dead on a coin flip. But we have... We're still dead. Let's not kid ourselves. We're still dead. Sacrifices it for the ability that can deal 3 damage, and so we're dead. So up next is room 6. And then from there, one of the bosses again. Entrath also not as fast as JJ, but slow and steady is winning the race here, grinding out wins, forcing us to discard cards, sacrifice troops, basically just making the life miserable. Alright, so he needs a second, and then he's going to be sending us another challenge, which is fine. As I mentioned earlier in the stream, when I'm not playing Hex, I have been working on trying to plan out some writing stuff and working on kind of fiction writing for my aspirations of, trying to actually finish a novel and get some things done on that front. Yeah, room 6. Room 6. So I just received in the mail and had been starting to read this afternoon The Art of War for Writers. Nice book of just kind of very short, easy to remember tips for anyone who has any aspirations of doing any level of writing consistently. This is really a 3-shard hand, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. And use the Blood Ice to Fate Weave for another resource. Depending on what it is, that will dictate what the Well of Cunning does. We want Tribunal Magistrate on 3, and probably Cumulus Oculus on 4, and then start ripping off actions. Alright, I will use a Blood Ice again to seek another resource. And so now we're guaranteed to hit we should be guaranteed to hit our first 4 resource drops. Tribunal Magistrate will be down next turn after Well of Cunning. And so yeah, we're on course here. We have our plan, and it's Entrath's job to basically destroy our plan. Ruin everything good and decent about our plan. So let's get the Tribunal Magistrate down. So for however long that lives, every time Entrath plays something that's not a resource, 2 Spiderlings are going in that deck. Alright, so we have to discard something. I think I actually want to keep the Cumulus Oculus over the Eldritch Dream Thief, because the Cumulus has some blocker potential here against these, and has does extra berry work with the actions. Alright, let's just get a second Sapphire. Huh. Could throw down a second Tribunal Magistrate here. And no, I think I'm gonna throw it on the Oculus for health protection here and force a block or force something to sacrifice that. Because, okay, we're gonna lose something here. Don't make me discard another card, please. Okay, you can't. Whew, that means both of these are gonna get played. Alright, so what are we drawing? A Chronic Madness. So Tribunal Magistrate times 2. Chronic Madness to rip 4 off the top there. And that one's going back in the deck. Actually, that's ripping off 7. Because whenever you play an action, bury the top 3 cards. Now, if we don't have to discard this, there'd be 11 off the top. And 11 has got to find some Spiderling eggs, right? 11 has got to find us some spiders. This is one deck where, I mean, in the face of Tribunal Magistrates times 3 now, grindy is probably not the route you want to take. Because we just hit the God Bombs. Well, that seems like a G. If you let the Tribunal Magistrates do their thing, we now have 30 unblockable damage swinging in next turn. He did take our Boglum, the Mad Marsh. That would have been a fun toy. Add a little bit of insult to injury there. Swinging with those, and that should do it. Yep, some Bastard Spawns, a couple Boglums, Tribunal Magistrates. There's some nasty stuff in there. If you let the Cast Hush get their hooks of madness into your brain. Yeah, that drawing all the Magistrates early was pretty brutal. Good run. Congratulations on winning a guaranteed Evo pack. And we'll up the prize counter. We're going to add a Totemic Elder to our current prize pool. Good, glad you had some fun. And up next is Stigma Buster. Stigma Buster, you are up. Send me a challenge when you're ready. And I need to get this. Oh, and let me know which starting room you're in. You want to start in 1 or 2? It's all personal preference at this point now because all the bonus rooms have been taken out. It's which route do you want to take to get to room 4? Alright, starting with 1. Works for me. Works for me, and if anybody who is watching and has not challenged the dungeon at all tonight and wishes to get your name in the queue, please let me know. We're running for about another hour. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock now, about another hour, so would be able to get probably at least one more challenger in tonight, and then time depending, maybe 2. Six, starting room 1. Alright, Raptos. Rockin' Malzak. We'll keep this. Malzak's ability is 3 charges, stun target exhausted troop. Alright, using the Wild Ice for a resource. It would have been great to be able to play Witch of the Wishing Well on 1, but I think working up the extra resource drops here is rather important. Now we'll throw down Witch. And gonna go ahead and Arcane Focus as well. I'll take the Shaman here, because don't have the threshold for the other one yet. And it's unknown how long it'll take us to get it. Although I may just throw this back with the Witch of the Wishing Well for a different troop. Put 1 troop from your hand into your deck. If you do, put a random troop from your deck into your hand, and that troop gets bigger. So we can find something else and buff the something else. That's the Witch's gimmick. But Raptos playing a Brittle Winter Widow to stun the Witch, so no Witch fun will be had this day. And of course, I reject the Arendelle Monk, so I immediately find a source of Wild Threshold, because that's how these things work. Alright, so Cottontail Explorer is going to come down then. We had a polymorphic army at the bottom of the deck. Not doing any good there. Did find a resource. And now, if Raptos wants to double down on the hurt, could use those 3 resources to stun this again. So that we go, yep, it gets stunned again, so that's more turns without being able to swing in. And now Hatchery Malvoker comes down. Whenever you play an action, create 3 Spiderling eggs and put them into our deck. So I'm gonna offer a trade here. Next troop in your deck gets deploy, put target action with cost equal to or less than this troop's cost from your crypt into your hand. Well, that would get us Polymorphic Army back. So let's go ahead and throw that down. Fishing for Polymorphic Armies. Just kidding, because we probably just lost it. Yep. And it was on Night Sky Prophet too, which could have been empowered for us to find an action with cost less than 6. That's a bummer. So I guess we play Runic Hatchling instead. Throw down a Storm Drummer, so the next troop is able to battle a different opposing troop. And I'm just going to swing with the one thing that can fly right now. So this is exactly what Wild Shaper Caliban wants to be doing right now. Going wide with a bunch of random jank, and then finding a polymorphic army and exploding it all into big, crazy things. So one polymorphic is gone in the crypt, but there's still 3 in here to be found. And the B-side strategy is to just try to, you know, muscle through. Lullaby is for if your deck's off to a very poor start. It's a get-out-of-jail-free card for a counter blow. So Spider's Nest, target opposing troop, when it becomes exhausted, create 3 Spiderling eggs and put them into the deck. So if we swing with that now, we're paying a cost of 3 in the deck. Okay, we drew a resource, so Runic Hatching activates and we get another Hailhawk. I'm going to play Shackling Strands on the Cyclone Shaper so that exhausts at combat. And I am swinging with all of these, actually. I'll keep the Witch back. But if you want to trade these for some 1/1s, I'm cool with that. So Raptos is now going to be Fate Weaving. Maybe wanting to put, if I had to guess, a non-resource. Stuns the Hailhawk. Plays another Winter Widow, probably stunning the other Hailhawk. So Raptos is fine with us swinging in for the thing that makes eggs. No counterattacks. Alright, and now this is how professionals do this. Okay, it's transform, it's not revert. A professional swings with everything, pre-combat. And then before damage is dealt, lets God decide what actually happens. Or I guess in the case of the Hex universe, it'd be lets Kismet decide. Because everything's a 5-drop. If you have Verdict of the Kings, Ancient Kings, it'd be so sad. So it turned into a 5/4, 5/5, 2/3. the crap that turned into. Oh, I wanted to make 5 Dementia Daisies. I love Polymorphic Army. Such a fantastic card. Alright, so that is attempt number 10. So we need to add a booster pack to the pool. We already have a Shard of Fate and a Shattered Destiny booster in here. So we're going to continue down the line and add an Armies of Myth. because Function was kind enough to donate one booster of every set for our Dungeon Masters of Entrath prize pool. So I'm running through those lists, gradually adding those into the pot here. Alright, so if anybody is in chat, you've been hanging out, watching the show tonight, you've now seen 3 challengers. We had Jadeem Jedi, we had SM Rad, and we had Raptos. If you would like to participate tonight, and you've not challenged the dungeon yet, please let me know. Otherwise, if we do not have any fresh blood, we will start rolling again from the 3 people who have already challenged the dungeon tonight. But before I give anybody a second shot, I do like to make absolutely certain that there's not anybody who has wanted to have a first crack at it and has not had the opportunity to do so yet. So I'm going to give it a few seconds for anybody to speak up in chat. Again, if you wish to challenge the dungeon tonight, we are going to be live for about roughly 50 more minutes or so. Not planning to make it a late night here, so we'll see. I'm going to use this opportunity to take a quick bathroom break, since I have not since the show started, and refill my water. And then when I am back, give me like 2 minutes, we will make decisions on who's running the dungeon next. Okay, I am back. Pantala is what I'm going to call you for short here. Let me know your in-game name, which dungeon room you want to start in, starting room 1 or 2, and then just let me know when you're ready. I'll give you a couple more minutes here to get your deck in order. And bear with me a second, because I have the sudden massive need to sneeze. It's hard to kind of talk and try to carry on a conversation when your face wants to erupt. Alright, so... okay, so it's the same. Starting at room 1. Okay. So I will send you a Whisper. P A no P A N T A L A I M O N F I L A. Okay, so you have a whisper. When you're ready, you just click on my face, hit challenge, pick your deck, and we're good. Reminder, it's in mortal format. That's important. And so I mentioned this a while back on the stream, but just so everybody knows again, this Saturday at 2 p.m. Central Time for me, which is noon if you're on the U.S. West Coast, 3 p.m. if you're on the U.S. East Coast, this Saturday, I'm going to be doing my special reward stream for hitting the 150 follower mark. We're going to be loading up the really stupid movie Cowboys vs. Dinosaurs on Netflix. I will have the subtitles running on that, so you can kind of read it along as we go. I may have to do a little bit of volume adjustment, but we're going to be watching that really awful movie together. And I'm going to be giving it the Riff Tracks Mystery Science Theater 3000 treatment as we go. And also at the same time attempting to turn a movie that's, as the title suggests, literally about cowboys and dinosaurs into somehow being a Hex-related event. It's going to be the first time I've ever tried to do like a feature-length long parody of anything. It could be hilarious, it could be cringeworthy and just super horrible. I have no problem making an ass of myself on stream. It's all fun for me. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I should find the trailer for that just to kind of show what we're talking about here. Because Pentala needs another minute here anyway. Cowboys versus Dinosaurs 2015 trailer. Here it is. Alright, so let's pause the music for a second and switch over to this.
They thought they were mining for precious metal.
The reason why we've chosen this site is the geological formation is without precedent.
I'm going to turn up the audio a bit here too.
Hold on. But what they unearthed.
Look at this absolute treasure of cinema.
55 million years in the making.
Oh God, no!
You gotta get me out of here, right? I can help.
The last thing I need is a hothead running around.
So you've got your cowboy tough guy, and look, it's got Eric Roberts in it. You know a movie's good when Eric Roberts is in it.
Rests in the hands.
I need a drink.
You can tell they spared no expense.
What's happening?
Of a few cowboys.
You know how to use one of these things?
Like how he's got twin AKs and there's no recoil.
These prehistoric outlaws.
Where the hell are you going?
Hunting.
They'll have to shoot first. Or become extinct. In the wildest action-adventure standoff.
Do you honestly think that you're just gonna
The
cowboy
wildest.
up and ride into town guns a-blazing?
Where
See, I think the blonde is our Princess Victoria.
cowboys versus dinosaurs.
That might be like Prince Taliesin or something. We'll figure this out as we go. But yes, that is the treasure that we are going to be watching together on Saturday and making fun of mercilessly. So it should be fun. I'm going to have fun. I don't know if anybody else is going to have fun, but I'm going to have fun, and I hope that some of you guys will have fun with me. It'll be dumb, and if people enjoy it, it might be a thing I do, like one of those a month, where we find an awful movie and then just have a blast ripping on it. So that is what is going on this weekend. That looks like The Room level of bad. Oh, I love. There's some good treasures on Netflix. I have not yet watched Zombievers, but there's a movie about zombie beavers. tried to watch Attack of the Killer Donuts. I have not heard of that one. That sounds pretty awful. That sounds pretty awful. I can turn the music back on here too. I'm sure the movie will be awful, but I might tune in for it during the bash. There you go. The whole point is that the movie is awful and that we are collectively making fun of it together. And I can be some side entertainment for you, and hopefully not too distracting while you're bashing your brains out. In the name of glorious, sweet, delicious cash. I'm going to use it as a writing break because I think most of my friends are out of town on different vacations right now that I either couldn't afford or wasn't interested in. So I'm planning to spend a good chunk of my weekend trying to work on writing projects and basically not look at a computer screen after looking at a computer screen all week. Well, actually, that's a lie, because if I'm writing, I'll be looking at a computer screen. But just kind of having peace and quiet to myself. But after doing that probably all morning Saturday morning, I'm going to need a break from that. And so watching a dumb movie and making fun of it sounds like the way to go. So we're just waiting for Pentalia to finish their deck here and then shoot us a challenge, and we will get started. Starting with room number 1. And if you had not heard, they announced today, HEX is coming to PlayStation 4, Tuesday, September 19th. So it's a little under a month from now. I do own a PlayStation 4, so I will be definitely checking out what that is looking like. Alright, starting room 1. Alright, we got ourselves a first-time challenger. Running Morgan McBombus. Is that how we get this connection issue message with some players? I don't know if that's a computer issue or an internet issue, but every once in a while some people just take a second to come in like that. Let's see here. Let's see how good I am at multitasking. I want to pull up Netflix on this other monitor here and see what other awful films exist as possible other candidates. Never heard the. I wanted to try to find some weird remixes of known songs that I can get away with playing that aren't going to get my stuff muted. And I'm a huge fan of The Offspring. So you give me some pretty fly for a white guy. Yeah, that's all TV. If it's critically acclaimed, we can't use it for our need. Horror movies. Horror movies is the gem category of making fun of horrible things. That might be an issue for streaming then. I do not want to push the line too far and get myself in trouble with Twitch. Alright, so choosing adventure here because we already have 4 resources with the possibility to find a 5th if it's really needed. We got Curse of Chucky. Train to Busan I haven't watched, but I heard it was actually very, very good. The Babadook. I don't know what that movie is. Why do they have Young Frankenstein in horror movies? Young Frankenstein is a comedy. Alright, so a 4-3 already is very good for them, very bad for us. And this deck is not overly blessed with hard removal. So I'm going to throw down the Lyricist in hopes of hitting 4 next turn and throwing down and getting a 5-drop that can maybe stop or trade with that. Alright, so blocking the 1 and eating the 4. Any removal is going to get that anyway. Okay, no. Alright, show me something good. Well, that's going to make something else really good. The next troop in our deck gets +5/+5. And we could double up on that now if we have to. So something good is coming. Pantalia. Pantalaimon. Hit Arcane Focus, throws down a Bumblebot, so a good amount of damage on just 3 1 and 2 drops so far. Very cheap stuff. And Bumblebot now has the plus attack. That's going to be a problem. We do have a Mystic Naturalist as a potential solution, but that would require drawing a slow shard. Alright, so I'm going to 2-for-1 myself to try to get that off the board. And I think I'm throwing a resource on top. And then let's see it. This pulls from the bottom, so that's not going to mess with our prophecies. I think I sequenced that wrong. I should have started with that. Or maybe it doesn't matter. I couldn't have afforded the Mystic Naturalist anyway after paying 2. But I should have played that before doing a resource, because now that I found 2, I didn't need to put another one on top of the deck. These are the errors I catch myself making late in the night when I'm getting tired. Combat training on the Bumblebot is big. So, must take 5 in air. Just chump block to stop the other 4. Arcane Focus to see what is in here. Sure, 7/7 Bushi seems good if we live long enough. I'm gonna throw down the Mystic Naturalist here to try to trade it for a Bumblebot. And then the Chaos Tongue is just gonna step in front of the Ember Tongue Skarn. Dead to removal. needs to play an action to get that Bumblebot. Alright. He's gonna get the Bumblebot. And so now we're taking one. That has must attack, so that will swing in. And let me see here. Alright, declare defense. Block you. Block you. Alright, there's still a lot that kills us. And a resource doesn't help. Alright, and I think combat training is in hand. Almost certainly that's what's in the hand. Well, there's one in crypt, so maybe not. But I still think there's a combat training in hand because this has it. This deals combat damage. Oh, maybe it does. Maybe it's not. But we'd be taking one in the air off of that, and then okay. So we get to keep our determined Bushi for the moment. Yeah, I forgot because that is to hit that is to hit champion, and because there's one in the crypt here, so if there's one in the crypt, then there's probably not one in the hand. Alright, so let me see here. This would be 2 plus 6. No, with cost 6. That would turn that into a 6 drop. That can turn it into an 8 drop. Doesn't revert. It does not revert. So let's turn our 2/2 into a 6 drop that has +5/+5. And now let's turn it into an 8 drop. Oh, the hit! The hit. 10/10 life drain flight. So we can do a 10 health swing here where we take 6, 7 on the crackback. What a hit. Alright, so he used a coin to reset the Bumblebot so that it could be an eligible blocker. when you think you got the game in hand. So we now are up to 13, so we can eat 7 here. Polymorphic army, keep your counter spells at the ready. That's the deck's gimmick. Alright, those swing for 9. So we're at 6. There are ways to seal the deal here if there's a burn to the ground or anything else in there. RNG! Alright, got to, I think, go for the 10. Hope that this doesn't get blown out. And then throw down a Cloudbounder as a blocker. I should probably trade it for that. Caliban's gonna RNG the way. Well, it needs to be able to connect. combat training on the Embertongue Skarn. It's funny how that text just constantly, repeats there, even though it's not really necessary. Alright, combat training on a Bumblebot. Can only block one thing, so would let bot through there. Yeah, I'm just gonna swing with the 10-10 here, but real hard to run down that health swing every turn. Dream Smoke lets us cherry pick what we draw off the top. Yeah, I'm fine with Mo on top. Yep, now that's 110 out of 10 GG now, because we get to eat the swing, we can crack back with 3 troops, only 2 can get blocked at 2 health. It was a noble attempt. Undone by savage application of RNG, turning when a 2/2 determined Bushi grows up to become a 10/10 Righteous Vanquisher. You know you're having a bad day. Somebody's having a bad day. Somebody else is having a great day. If anybody else in the chat has not had the opportunity to challenge the dungeon tonight and wishes to do so, please let me know. And Pantalimon, good game. You gave it your best effort. You had it close, and you were undone by Kismet's whims, basically. Not much you can do about a 2/2 determined Bushi evolving into a 10/10 Righteous Vanquisher. It is just gonna happen sometimes. Alright, so we're gonna add a Howling Plains Bluegrass into the prize pool here. And that is a donation courtesy of Rory to our prize pool. So there's still 3 in the queue and 1 X in the active prize pool. Otherwise, if we don't have any new challengers, since there's only half an hour left, I might wrap up a little early tonight. Just because I missed a day and a half of work earlier this week, and so I've fallen behind, and I need to make sure I'm getting my sleep and busting ass in the office to catch up. My water softener in my house is as old as my house. It was 21 years old, and it has a rated operating life of 15 years. It finally decided it had enough, and it failed rather spectacularly. So it started leaking, and I had the wonderful joy of discovering that the drain in the back of the room doesn't work, so water was sloping away from the drain and into my kitchen, so I was having flooding problems and had to get all of that ripped out and fixed. So that was my life on Monday and Tuesday. Hoorah! So thankfully it's fixed, it's done. I don't have flooding issues in the house anymore. But much happier to be just kind of chilling, relaxing, playing Hex. Give it another second to see if we have any fresh challengers. Otherwise, I'm going to call it a night. We've been up for 2 hours. I've been live for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And like I said, I will be back on Saturday, and of course, Dungeon Masters of Entrath every Wednesday. Let's see who else, if there's anybody else streaming Hex at the moment. Or if we are it. Somebody else has got to be streaming Hex. Yep. Ali Eldrazi and Curtis Kapala. Take your pick. I will... Mix of drafting today. I haven't watched either. I'm in the mood for a little bit of Constructed. I will probably throw you guys over to Ali Eldrazi here. Call it a good night. Good luck in the Hex Clash and the Hex Bash if you are playing this weekend. And as always, we'll see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It's been fun as always.